Hey, what's going on, friends and family? My name is Skylent. Welcome to the reaction of the Palia teaser trailer thing. I guess all the footage is taken from in-engine, but you know how the game actually plays, how it's really going to look. That's all, who fucking knows. Even what we got with the press releases, which I'm reading through the different websites, and I'll just kind of spit out real quick here. It really just seems vague, and it can go in a million different directions. So this video is going to be mostly quick, and frankly, mostly critical, because, you know, they just kind of gave us fluff. And I'm not about to just tell you, hey, this looks cool, because it does. I'm going to try to dig a little bit deeper, which is frankly going to have to be a little bit of some assumptions, if that's okay. Now, getting into this, Palia is kind of, it's kind of like, you know, making the rounds, and it's getting kind of viral because people are interested, obviously, in any new MMO. An MMO that is from known developers, that's a big thing. It's apparently from former developers of Blizzard, as well as Riot. Though exactly who those people are, what exactly they've done, and what even that all means, who fucking knows, because I'm going to tell you right now, guys, with my experience playing so many games where it's like ex-developer or head developer from this amazing game, like from the Ultima devs, from the EverQuest devs. Guys, it doesn't fucking matter. It literally doesn't matter. I really honestly think that the golden age of MMOs was a fluke and an experiment, and because people were allowed to experiment and it wasn't crazy market tested, that we had those amazing, magical, and mysterious, you know, adventures. Palia, though, coming out of the gate, you can see it yourself. If you've seen the trends, if you've been trying to, you know, follow new MMOs or just new games in general, whew, wow, you can tell that this looks very similar to a lot of other games. It looks like Minecraft, a little bit mixed with Animal Crossing, really going hard on those cozy, cuddly, you know, safe space, cute kind of vibes. And kind of throwing it together, kind of Genshin Impact-y with its cartoon aesthetic, you know, I guess you could say Fortnite-ish. And it just kind of has like a bunch of like just really safe marketing terms and clearly mechanics with the gliding mechanic, the farming mechanics. But there is some interesting stuff that could come out of this. A couple of things that I'm interested in is the fact that there is supposed to be an evolving narrative experience with other players inside of this MMO space. Now, is that going to look like the ever-changing world that's episodically storied, such as Guild Wars 2, or are they basically just kind of being grandiose and saying, oh, it's a sandbox. You can have, you know, a bunch of different stories between your friends that you make with your sandbox adventures and bullshit. But we don't really see combat, we don't really see proper gameplay. It just seems like the core gameplay loop and aesthetic and theme, and yeah, the main selling point that they're doing for their first foot forward is, isn't this a cute, cuddly, cozy game you guys can build a village together? Which, frankly, is a big aspect. It's why I played MMO servers on Minecraft. It's why I played Valheim for a good bit co-op, and why I play a lot of survival co-op games. And it's why a lot of people play games like Animal Crossing, sure, is like to invite their friends to the islands. I personally play that game co-op as well. But, yeah, you know, I'm seeing a trend. A lot more games, even hardcore sandbox games like Albion Online, have, like, an actual Farmville experience you can do. Cool, neat, I guess. It's just kind of a trend, and I don't know, this game just isn't hitting a lot of notes for me personally of, like, whoa, this is totally different. Whoa, this is ingenious. This is really pushing, you know, like, mechanical barriers in terms of gameplay design, or, like, technological barriers, which is kind of the dream of MMOs, you know, from VR, or, like, you know, how many players on a screen, or what you can actually do with that, like when PlanetSide 2 hit the scene, or Black Desert Online with its action combat. Yeah, what is this game doing? It seems like it's being very safe, and it's creating a safe MMO space for people who want safe, cozy spaces. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, you know, I'm kind of a more hardcore sandbox type of player. I really champion uniquity over anything. But at the same time, there definitely is a space for games like Palia, for games like Hytale, for games like, and I could list a bunch of fucking others, because there's a lot of games trying to jump on this trend. This is definitely the next big thing, where it's like, it's Minecraft, but an MMO. And in fact, I think a lot of us could probably, if you're, you know, sharp-eyed, probably see the similarities to EverQuest next, which was going to be this sort of Minecrafty EverQuest experience, and this looks a lot like that. In fact, this straight up looks like a spiritual successor to that failed game. So there it is. We have Palia. Sorry, I repeated the trailer a couple of times, and I was a little bit crueler, but I mean, the gameplay, or I guess whatever, the footage speaks for itself. That's all we know so far, and all I can give you is my assumptions, and then also the schema that I have with playing similar games, or seeing titles from, you know, supposed amazing developers come out. And basically what happens is, developers think they know what they're doing, they follow the market, they push it out, and then it lacks a little bit of soul. So, is Palia the next Minecraft? Is Palia the next World of Warcraft? Is Palia the next big whatever bullshit? Is it going to totally change bend genres, the next Animal Crossing? It's competing with a lot of very big, extremely relevant and popular games at the moment. Can it merge all of them and be good? Maybe. Because, honestly, Valheim as well, first glance, that looked like copy and paste. In fact, actually, Fallout 76, even, in many cases, looked copy and paste, and yet it evolved and became good again. So, who knows how this game is going to start? Is it going to hit the ground running? I don't know. But it is from known developers, so maybe, at least, but in the end, how is it going to grow and evolve? Well, that's where us players come in. So, I will end the video on this. If it is going to be a game that's community-focused, and it is going to be a game about socialization, and getting players who can play solo to engage in a greater world, which is kind of the beauty of MMOs, is getting people who are isolated and want to escape into a world and then, join guilds and make lots of friends and, participate in a living, breathing world. If they can just give us the tools to be social, to create parties, to not just like, groups, but like have parties, like, build parks, build wonders in the world, and, have these maybe world events or things that we have to really collaborate on and work together. If we can really build the world itself, then I think this game is going to do great, as we've seen with many other games, as long as there's really unique creative ways for players to be creative. I mean, even subtly. Again, if you played Valheim, the base building in that is pretty collaborative, and it takes a lot of cogs moving in your brain. It's just a little bit extra. So we just need a little bit extra with all these, yes, tried and true mechanics that we've seen before, but just a little bit extra thrown all together. Yeah, it could totally work. But is this going to be like the next big holy grail for the MMO genre? I'm honestly still dubious how much of an MMO it is. But I do think that this could be a cute, fun game. As I've mentioned before, I think that cuter, cozy, these cuddlier more games, I think these are definitely going to be a big trend. I've already commented on a few of them, as we've seen on the channel. Most of them, frankly, have failed, but it is a trend, and it seems like people are really trying to break out into that with the MMO space. So we'll see where that comes in. There's Doki V from Pearl Abyss. There's a failed game from Wreckful, which rest in peace, my friend. And hopefully that game still comes out, actually, but yeah, and then we have Palia, and then of course there's a couple of anime MMO that are also actually where we're trying to do this, like Period Chronicles, and then that failed. Ew. Yeah. Okay, actually a lot of failures and games that haven't come out yet. Okay, so yeah, anyways, Palia. Is it going to work? It's totally a coin flip. Completely a coin flip. And that's actually being generous. But, hey, it's something interesting, and now you know my opinion on that. So, that's pretty much it. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. And before we end the video, I do want to say that Palia, since it is based on village building, there is actually, hyper-specifically on that mechanic, whether it's a cozy game or not, there is actually a tremendous focus on that coming in the future. You're going to see a ton of blockchain games, a ton of pay-to-win games, real estate-focused games, and overall village and home housing building games coming soon, such as like Ember Sword, which I've already talked about and why that's cancer. So yeah, if you guys are interested in that, in homemaking, home building, and working together to build a village, or Minecrafty kind of bullshit like that, Palia might be the one that actually has a legitimate chance of being kind of decent. Otherwise, I guess just, stick with your housing and Elder Scrolls, or, jump into Albion Online, do your Farmville, stuff like that. But yeah, no, there's totally a space, there's room for Palia to exist. It's just, does it really pique my interest entirely? Frankly, I'm still just kind of waiting on Riot's MMO. I think that's going to be the next big one. But until then, there's actually a ton of cool MMOs coming out that are really interesting and unique. Let's try them all. Fuck it, Yeah, it's worth talking about. MMOs is the one genre that's probably the most fun to fantasize about and talk about, because it's the genre that's made of dreams. And Palia is promising that we can bring our dreams to life, or whatever bullshit. Anyways, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Much love. If I was too harsh, hey, maybe, I don't know. Fuck it. This is my thoughts and feelings. That's it. Enough rant. Like, subscribe, YouTube bullshit. See you in the next one.